I'll provide two book recommendations. The first one is Why Startups Fail. It's by Thomas Eisenmann, who is a professor at HBS, and I'm a big fan of his work on business models. And I think this is an amazing book because very often you would go to an airport bookstore, let's say, and you hear so many success stories. And it's sort of very one-sided, but in reality, the majority of people who try to start up fail. And this is a book that documents startup failure in a way that is both illuminating and analytical, and it teaches us a lot and sort of gives a nod to the more common phenomenon of startup failure that is very ignored by the industry, if you will. So that's the first one. A second book I'll recommend is Bad Blood. You might have heard about this. This is the Theranos scandal, and it's just fascinating to look at sort of a delusion and like how it can go really wrong, and how ideas is nothing without execution, and the notion of intellectual honesty and scientific resistance comes very salient in the book. And I think it's brilliant and a page turner, very exciting read. So those are the two books I would recommend.
There's a long list of good books that I would recommend, but let me share just two books that I wanted my future students to read. The first one is about the game theory. And because again, a general perception among the students about the game theory is common, it's complicated mathematical models and so on. But this book was written in a plain language without any number, any equations. But this book is full of interesting insight and diverse episodes, all based on our daily business. The title of this book is The Art of Strategy. Written by Princeton economist Avinash Dixit and Yale economist Nalebuff. And another one is about the behavior economics. There is a great psychologist. I would never call him an economist. He never declared himself as an economist either. He's a psychologist who kind of opened this new behavior economics area, although they named it in the beginning prospect theory. We economists have been waiting for him to write a book. He finally published a beautiful book. It comes with the title of Thinking Fast and Slow. And he shares a lot of experimental studies he himself conducted with his colleague Amos Tversky. And not only this experimental research, he shares basic behavior insights regarding why this systematic behavioral bias or cognitive bias are occurring.
I once read a book which has been one of my guiding philosophies in life. In that book, there is the protagonist is a rich guy, and his fiancée he dies early, and he leaves her a fortune. But before he dies, he tells her, he says, "You know what? The secret to my wealth is." He says, "I control my operating expenses." Many of the world's great companies and many of the world's great leaders, they were very tight-fisted on operating expenses. Like you take Sam Walton of Walmart or Ingvar Kamprad of IKEA, they are all super tight-fisted on operating expenses, a day-to-day expense. So these are the insights that you get, but you have to be perceptive to that. So not just read, but think about what does this mean? Does this resonate with me, and so on.
So if you ask me what book we would like to recommend, I would like to tell all of you, I have written a few articles and books, and you can still double my readership. Please go.